Hello to the awesome agents in Greater Cleveland. My name is Hudson Warren, and I appreciate you taking a few minutes out of your meeting to hear from me today. I apologize that I'm not there in person, and yet we had some family things this evening when the meeting time changed, and I'm very protective of my family time, as I trust and hope that you are as well, for those of you with families. I am a coach. First of all, I'm a MAPS coach. I specialize in bold, and I am also a PC coach. I have a team called the HomeWise team. We just closed out 2022 at about 150 closings for 1.5 million in GCI. And so I do what you do. I do what you guys do, and I'm navigating the market just like you guys are, and it's changing so much. I did mention a family, just so you know about that as well. I have 6 children under the age of 12. I am married to the most amazing human in the world, and we live a blessed life. And I'm so happy to be here with you guys this evening. And so here's what I want to share with you. Bold is coming. That's the initial reason that I'm here, and yet I don't want you to make assumptions. So if you just did, it's okay. You know if you did. So just erase it for just a second. Like, let's live an opportunity for the next couple of minutes that we have together. I want to talk to you guys about the reality of the market. Like, and just don't tune out on that either. I know, oh, you're in a shift. I get it. You're probably overhearing about it. I'm overhearing about it on a certain level. And yet I just want to talk about reality, right? Because now we're in 2023. And I know you guys are feeling the shift. I've been talking to agents in your area for quite some time now. I've got some friends there. And then on top of that, of course, I'm bringing a bold to the area. I know you guys are well into the shift. So the reality is that this year in 2023, regardless of what your goals and desires are, there will be less homes to sell and there are more agents looking to sell them. So less to sell and more competition to sell them. So those two things don't equate to the best news ever, right? And you can't do anything about it, right? Like, you can't control the market. You might have a really good day every once in a while and think you can. And yet we know that we can't control the market. We can't control the interest rates. We can't control the economy. There are all these things that we can't control. And yet I would imagine that most of you in this room listening to me right now, you do have goals, though. You have goals for your business. You have goals for your finances. You have goals for your wealth, for your health, for the key relationships in your life. Like, you've got goals that are important for you to hit in 2023, regardless of what the market is doing. You, there's nobody in this room right now who's sitting there thinking like, well, I'm just going to do whatever happens. Like, no, that's not, you wouldn't be here, right? So you have goals and you have some challenges. So my question is, what do we do about it? And my question to you is, what is your plan specifically? And assuming that you have one on any level, is it airtight, right? Like, do you know that you will hit your goals that are wildly important to you, regardless of what the market and the economy and the interest rates and the da, 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 da in life, regardless of what they do? Now, you know the answer, whether it's yes or no. Some of you, it might be yes. I'm sure there's a lot of you, based off just the law of averages, that are like, I don't know. And if that's you, I want to invite you to bold, because there's just no reason for your income or success to be dictated by the market, right? In every market, in every shift, I've been in the business since 2006. So if you can do some mental math, I went through the last shift and I watched it, and I watched so many people get out of the business, like a staggering number. And then I watched people have their best years ever when everybody else was having their worst year. So you have the power to do whatever you want. And yet, if you're going to succeed in 2023 and in this shifting market that is completely skills based, where it's just a fact that you're going to have to talk to more people and do more things to make even the same amount of money. So if you're looking to make more, like, you get it, right? Then you need an amazing plan, and you probably get to do something that you haven't already been doing, or maybe more than one something that you haven't already been doing. And that's why I'm here. That's why Bold is coming. You see, whether you've taken Bold before or not, if you've not taken Bold before, I'll tell you how it is. If you've taken Bold before, it wasn't now. You see, you can't ever take the same class twice, even if you take the same class twice. Because for Bold specifically, the material changes, the coach changes, the market changes, you change, right? So Bold at its core, and Bold when I'm in the room, quite frankly, Bold is a coaching, conditioning, and accountability experience, right? Like a lot of people will say, oh, I don't have the time, except you're not hitting your goals. Okay, so time is probably actually a challenge. So maybe it's time for you to be in an environment where you reprioritize, where you get more into the money making activities and less out of the weeds, right? I have people tell me, well, I know what to do. I just need to do it. Well, if it were that simple, then you would be doing it, right? So Bold is conditioning. We get you into action. And the beautiful thing about Bold, even though it's 7 sessions over 2 months, which sounds like a lot, and it is a lot, we really at the core only focus on two things because there are only two things that you can control in the world. That is your mindset and your actions. And who in the room, you can raise your hand. I can't see you. It's just I know the answer. Who in the room would love to have less stress in your life? Okay, you're all raising your hands or you're rolling your eyes, whatever. Either way, I know you want less stress in your life. All right. When you focus on the only two things that you can control and get out of this habit of focusing on things that you have zero control over, you will have less stress in your life. And therefore, you will have more success in your life. So look, you can expect to sell more homes while you're in Bold. That's good. We want to do that. You can expect long-term to sell more homes. It's not a one-time thing. We get you into habits that you can carry forward, right? So those two things will happen. And yet Bold is much more than that. Here's where I want to close. I want to share the very truncated version of my Bold story and why I coach it in the first place. All right. Because I started in 2006. I told you that. I was in Southern California, very high price point. And I didn't need to sell a lot of homes to make a decent income. And I was much younger at the time, right? And so I never, for 8 years, I sold real estate in Southern California, never sold more than 20 houses. 7 out of 8 years made 6 figures. Life was wonderful. It's all good. And then I moved from Southern California to Southwest Florida in the very beginning of 2014. I moved for a long distance relationship. That is a story for another day. And yet I started over completely from scratch. And so I started at the beginning of 2014. October of 2014 rolled around and I had sold exactly 0 homes. Now, at that point, I have burned through my savings. I am broke. I have no income. That relationship that I had moved for was not working well. I was still in it. And yet I was generally miserable because nothing in my life was going the way that it was supposed to be. And I had no cushion to fall back on in any way, shape, or form. So I took Bold for the first time in October of 2014. Now, I created 11 pieces of business in 2 months, which was more than I had ever done in 2 months. And 7 of them closed by the end of the year. So 2014, I closed 7 deals. Mind you, my best year ever was 20. That's 2014. All right. 3 years later, in 2017, I closed 111 deals. 5 years after 2014, in 2019 was the first year I hit MREA status, where I made 6 figures or 7 figures in 1 year. I do know what $1 million is. That's also the year I became a coach. Oh, somewhere in the middle of there, I got out of the nasty relationship. I met my spouse. We got married. We've built this beautiful family through the gift of adoption. And here's what I need you to understand. I didn't go to Bold once. I went 15 times in a 5-year span. And now the natural thing for you to do is be like, well, that seems crazy. Or maybe he's just really dumb. Maybe I am. I don't know. I don't care. Like, I knew that when I was in the right environment, that I would do the right things. So I kept myself in that environment. There are things that will work in this shift and there are things that will not work. And here's the reality. If you get in the right environment, you'll do the right things. If you don't, you will very likely sit in the stuff that isn't going to work. And you won't feel it until it's likely too late. So I don't desire that for you. Now, here's the other challenge with Bold coming. Cleveland's a giant market. We have over 2,000 agents that we're marketing this class to, and our venue allows for 125 seats. That's not a sales ploy. That's literally, that's it. It's 125 seats. They will not allow any more than that. We're already at over 100 registrations. So here's the other thing. We have First Step coming up. You can come to First Step for free, regardless of whether you're taking full Bold. The challenge is that if you wait to sign up for Full Bold when you get to first step, I don't know that you'll have a seat, because the last time that Bold was in Cleveland, there were almost 180 agents that took it. It was a bigger room then. Now we're capped at 125. So if you're sitting here, if anything has spoken to you, whether it's, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do in this shift and I still have goals that matter, or, oh, I'm not super in love with where my life is, or, oh, I like the idea of going from 0 to 7 figures in 5 years' time. If any of it spoke to you, then I want to challenge you to get out of your head and not talk yourself out of opportunity like so many of us do for so much of our lives. I want to challenge you to sign up in this moment, like do it this evening. Because if you don't, not only will you likely either forget, because you're human, just like me, or you'll give yourself all the reasons you can't do it, like I can't afford it. Well, if you can't afford it, that's a chain that we need to break, right? So let's invest in something that'll teach us to do the right thing and make more money and never have to say I can't afford it again. I don't have the time. Okay, well, I've got 2 full-time jobs and a part-time job and 6 children. Like, yes, you do. Like it's prioritizing the time, right? So I want to challenge you, don't give yourself excuses. If there's more for you that's out there for 2023 in your business, in your life, in anything that matters to you, then I want to challenge you to get into the right environment and make the changes in your life. All right, your leadership team can help you with the rest. They can tell you how to get registered. I appreciate your time. I'm very, very grateful for it. Have a beautiful rest of your meeting and an amazing year. And I look forward to meeting some of you in just a couple of weeks.